Get into game number 1 here. Thank you, Tsunami, and we'll see if China can continue some dominance, some of their dominance.
Yeah, China has been doing well. Definitely.
They're doing okay.
They are definitely back.
Gotta temper expectations.
Yeah, the first thing that I'm seeing, like the first thing that I notice whenever Aurora is playing, is it a good BKB game for the carry? Is it a good BKB TP out game? Can he TP out during the ulti? No. So a little bit of a downside to it for Nightfall. Needs to be careful because can't use battle trends and try to TP out if you have units around you. So that's going to be the downside of it. And speaking of their lineup, they do have very good repositioning tools. Sieging the high ground is not going to be easy. I've seen games where it was actually Nightfall. I think he was playing for Tundra at the time. It was the grand finals against Falcons when he went like 15-0 on Ursa and still lost that game because they couldn't finish. I could see some of the issues as well being in this game. Sure, Bristle deals good amount of damage even when you're playing green Bristle back to the buildings, but he's playing Seeing Red in this one, so that's going to be extra bit of a damage. But Ursa and Storm, they're good at killing heroes, but they're not good at killing buildings. And you're playing into Magnus, into Tiny. Eventually, these heroes are going to have Blink Daggers, and this is the easiest way to make a comeback into the game if you're playing it from behind.
I'm curious to see how Xtreme played as well, because a lot of what we saw in the qualifiers for TI was Ame's lane and game kind of got sacked pretty hard, and it would be on XM and XXS to really open it up for Ame to get a lot of time and space. It was something that was pretty consistent throughout that qualifier, where Ame would start the game like 0-4, and then all of a sudden they had to give him 30 minutes to make the game work for himself.
Yeah, he's been heavily focused in most of these games, but XXS and XM have been carrying pretty much the games, especially when he was playing Draw Ranger on Ame. And this is the lane where I think there's going to be quite a lot of action. You have Ursa and Silencer. These heroes want to be active early on, but also be careful about getting the skewer, getting skewered into the Bramble, so you can prop Bramble Maze 2 times. Ame killing the courier.
Getting himself a little bit of extra gold there. We'll see how that lane goes, how aggressive they're willing to play, because if it ends up being that he gets skewered like you said, it could end up being another one of those Ame lanes where he is dead a couple of times. But for right now, things seem pretty calm, although he's only 1-1. And then you've got Pelosin, who got pretty low, almost dying in that situation.
Yeah, doesn't have a healing salve to work with. He is bringing something on the courier. It's going to be another set of tangos, which means that he will slowly try to regen up and get something done. But this lane definitely is going to be a strong lane, especially when they hit level 2 timing on Ursa, whether he decides to go for Earthshock or Overpower, try to stick onto the target. These are not the easiest targets to kill, because you have Shadow Realm, you do have Skewer, but there's a good amount of harassment coming out from both Dark Willow and Magnus. These two heroes can put quite a lot of pressure. Again, you have ways of dealing with... something that Ursa doesn't like to play into is quite a lot of harassment at these early levels.
And for right now, he's 7-3 on the CS, so he's at least doing well in the lane. Whereas you can continue to see Pelosin, he's just trying to put some damage out there, have that Arcane Curse. He's gone 1-0-1 for the moment, and actually buying himself a bit more mana regen to get back into this aggressive style of the lane that he's looking for. I mean, for Ame and Pelosin, it seems like it'll be pretty quiet for them as long as their positioning's all right. But I could definitely see potentially a Shockwave skewer with a Bramble that ends up making them feel a little bit unkind. And Kiyotaka against XM over mid. The matchup's pretty even thus far. I mean, XM's had some fantastic
some banger
performance.
Games. He definitely did. But he's also not Kiyotaka. Kiyotaka, take it. Kiyotaka, give it in any order. Usually it's give it and take it. But this guy is one very entertaining player. I did call him EEE, Eastern European Envy. This guy is very good at making the games entertaining to watch as well. He's also the guy that builds boots of travel onto Stormspray. It's not something that others do. XM probably going to go for the treads in this one. This is going to be a bit of a farm fest in the mid lane. These heroes are not going to die to each other. They have way too much HP, armor, and everything to be able to kill themselves. But the Nightfall on Troll, this is the big one. This is the biggest question mark. I also want to see what the itemization is going to be after the Battle Fury. Big fan of Aghanim Scepter. I don't know if he can get away with Aghanim Scepter straight away. Maybe he's going to need to squeeze in a BKB because he's playing into a good amount of lockdown. Silencer especially Shaker. But Aghanim Scepter probably going to be the item of his choice because he can dispel himself and he can also dispel Ursa. Removing overpower from Ursa is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, hoping to shut down this Ursa any way possible. And Nightfall, he's happy with what he's getting out of the lane so far. There really isn't too much, I would say, that Xtreme can kind of do in this situation. They've got Fissure, they'll have some kills stacking up, but other than that, it doesn't exactly seem like the most killer-centric lane for the side of Xtreme Gaming. And bottom lane, I mean, this has been what we've seen from China. A lot of their qualifier games started very slow. Their first blood would be pretty late, but mid-late game would pop off.
I gotta correct you. It starts like they're playing aggressive, but there are no kills happening.
Yeah,
and then
that's true.
We have 4 kills at 12 minutes.
So we might be here for a while in terms of first blood, but I say that, but there's 3 heroes bottom, and kind of what we said, Ame ends up dead. That's how you make first blood happen. You just kind of talk about it, and then eventually it will happen. And now Mira's actually in a lot of trouble.
Oh, look at Poloson.
Avoiding the brambles. Oh, he walked into them, and now Mira, still the Arcane Curse on him, and that will be a kill.
Ooh, was out of the range to get that +1. Also canceled his healing style. I thought he was going for the play where he stands still. This is the same thing when Bear attacks you. You're pretending that you're dead. Did work in the situation, and in the end, Poloson will deny himself onto the creeps. XXS with that Vanguard, I don't think he's dying. He should definitely be fine in this one.
They are bringing a third up here, though. They want both supports. They want to do some damage to both these side lanes.
Yeah. One thing I do like about running away from a bear, because I've been in this situation multiple times, is especially with the friends. This is something we do for fun in the forests. You don't have to be the fastest one. Just don't be the slowest one.
Yeah. I mean, usually you trip somebody and then keep running.
Well, I never thought about that one, but that's the other way of thinking. A little backstabber you are, huh?
Oh, gosh. Jinky taking a lot of damage here with, again, both supports showing up to a lane. Or if you really want to make sure you're not the one who's going to be taken out, you have a little bit of honey ready for you, and then you just put honey on your friend, and then you run the other direction. Bears, big fans of honey.
I think you watch too much.
Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh, Yogi Bear, and Boo Boo. Poloson, again, he's stuck. He needs to go through the brambles. These brambles are really nicely placed by Mira.
They're moving around the map a lot. Aurora have shown up in all 3 lanes all of a sudden. And they're going to try and get Panto at least some retribution here for XM. But this isn't exactly the easiest target to kill. And under the tier 2 tower, things get a little bit dicey. But XM able to finish off this Naga Siren.
They caught him with his Pantos down. He was not ready for that one. Throwing Blood Grenade and getting another kill. Kiyotaka will need to be active on his Tiny to be able to match some of these rotations. Magnus, he wants to farm. Something that Toronto Tokyo does well on Magnus is during the last couple of tournaments when he did play it, he doesn't take too much farm from the team. He is pretty much Kiyotaka will carry the game or not, depends which Kiyotaka decides to show up, but also doesn't take that much farm from the team. So goes for the Blink Dagger and then starts to build into either Aghanim Scepter, Force Staff, some of these, like, I would say smaller items, sometimes Ether Lens as well. It really depends. Sometimes if it's a good game for Aura, Crimson Guard, I think he has a pretty good understanding what needs to be done, especially on Magnus.
Starting to see these neutrals come out. Mystical Dormant Curio there for XM. And the Cobalt Cup for Poloson. Gonna need a little bit extra move speed if he can. Try and get away from these heroes, especially this Troll if it's in the face of the Silencer. You want Poloson to get to level 6 as quickly as he can. You'd love to have him get that Global Silence. But for right now, they'll look to use that last word, and they don't have anything to stop this TP out.
They thought they can get him. Even without BKB, this guy just TPs out.
Now Mira, who TP'd in, all of a sudden in a little bit of a precarious position. XXS will have the chase, and that will be a kill there, as well as a +1 for Poloson. And they get something out of it. They don't end up getting the kill there out of the troll, but they do open up the lane a little bit, especially now with that extra kill. They could push the tower, just kind of stay content. We'll see what they decide to do. They've got 3 heroes up here. Maybe they're waiting for the troll to show up again. Panto and Kiyotaka coming from behind, and they might have been ready for them staying. The reel into the toss. They've also got that avalanche. Nightfall goes immediately after Pelosin, who's only level 4, so there was no global silence threat ever. But that does leave Kiyotaka very vulnerable, and they get the kill to the Tiny, and that's well worth the trade for the side of Xtreme. Early Heaven's Halberd for this Bristle. I really like this.
Yeah, it's something Troll doesn't like to play is any kind of kiting. Heaven's Halberd, which is not the most popular item. It was until we added some extra gold to the recipe. We did nerf it, but when the first item was introduced, when it was changed in 739, the item did look pretty OP. We saw like Sankings building it. 738, I believe, not 39. Toronto, Tokyo. Just a casual RP to try to get away from trouble. Heaven's Halberd's going to be a good pickup in this one, that's for sure. You're playing against Tiny. Tiny is a bit of a mixed damage, but it's mostly going to be used against Troll.
Ame still just farming here over bottom while the space is being made elsewhere. Got a Panto illusion, or did have a Panto illusion inside that camp. But that'll open up. Meanwhile, Jinku, he's going to stack the Ancients, and they're just starting to get some extra gold available on the map for when Ame's ready to take it. He's been down here bottom, and he's only up against Toronto Tokyo at the moment because Kiyotaka has kind of moved towards the mid and top side of the map to look for kills. They haven't looked bottom since they got that 1 kill on Ame.
Kiyotaka is going for more of a early-oriented item build on Tiny. I said that he needs to be active, but this is going to be super active. Doesn't upgrade his boots, doesn't buy Windlace. Instead, does go immediately for a Blink Dagger. So this has to be one of the earlier Blink Daggers. Even though he died once, maybe it's going to be not the fastest one, because Tinys sometimes, you know, they tend to own if they're picking up the 6, 8, and 10-minute rune. You get some Regen, Haste, Arcane rune, you're ready to pick up multiple kills. But this is a very good timing. Seen 4.5 minutes, faster than the average. A lot of stacking going on for Aurora. Every single camp pretty much has been stacked.
Yeah, a lot of extra gold on the map for him. 11 stacks made by the Naga Siren.
That's the power of the hero. This is something that I thought Nature's Prophet's going to be good at, but then we've changed the facet, so you need to use the Sprout. And there it is, go crazy!
They're going to go and echo Slam, but man.
He gets him. 5 heroes, actually. 4 heroes for Aurora, but they get the job done. This is amplified damage on Kiyotaka that has been used.
Yeah, Kiyotaka there with the amplified damage, now with that Blink Dagger.
Yep, and double Blink Dagger
I was just
now.
about to say. Toronto Tokyo also picks up a Blink Dagger. He's got stacks to farm. Everybody here has got stacks to farm and ways to farm them.
Because I want to go back to my point about Nature's Prophet being the guy who can stack. He wasn't as popular because we were playing it with the Greater Treant.
Ooh, global, but
global silence.
Not in time for the
Kiyotaka,
Shadow
he's
Realm.
ready with a stun.
They'll look for the Terrorize.
That was
now.
nicely done.
Avalanche toss combo, and there's gonna at least be a trade. XM, though, half his health, a little bit of mana to work with. He'll ball lightning away from the side of Aurora. Really well done there by Kiyotaka. Gets him grouped up.
They were on the same page. Toss back,
too.
Terrorize on top of himself.
Who still
going
finds
in.
XM.
We'll get another one. This should reveal the ward, but this is a pretty big kill.
Definitely should. The whole time, Ame's still bottom. And XM, this is one of the things that we talked about in the beginning of the game. When Ame doesn't exactly have an amazing start, you need XM and XXS to kind of hold the game steady. And XM, not actually as farmed as it feels.
Well, dying this one time. Did definitely hurt him a lot, and he hasn't been farming stacks. Some of the stacks are given priority to XXS, who definitely can carry on Bristleback. I just had to double check. In the last month, this is the only time where he played Bristleback on Seeing Red Facet. Seeing Red Facet has been exclusively taken by Amar when he's playing it from the offlane. Every single other Bristleback pretty much has been playing it with the Green Facet, because when you have extra physical damage, you want to pair it up with the Green Facet, of course. But people kind of realize that seeing Red Facet is still very good. And 22 stacks, 13 minutes into the game.
Sheesh.
These are some crazy numbers.
Yeah, it's so much extra gold made on around the map. And even with those stacks, though, it's a little bit of a surprise that the net worth doesn't favor them more. Still about an even game, and finally have that Kaya there on the Storm Spirit. You've got Battle Fury available for purchasing. One more creep for Ame, so he's really going to start to hit a mark. But a ball lightning in, they'll look for Nightfall. Global Silence comes through, but where's the follow-up afterwards? They've already used this Global. These heroes are starting to rotate. Now you need to get XXS out. But the Avalanche into the toss, throwing him over to Nightfall, trying to turn his back. They'll look for the Terrorize. That lands onto the Bristle. Now the Bedouin right in front of him, taking some decent damage, but surviving for a while, at least for now.
Nightfall needs to be
netted up,
careful.
and they'll look over as Toronto, Tokyo, as well as Kiyotaka combine to try and get a kill here on a Jinkyu. They'll use this song, and still, they are yet to kill XXS. But he is isolated away from the team. We'll see if there's anything that can help him. Now
Turn him around. It's the only way.
Finally, they kill XXS. XM on the run. Kiyotaka doesn't have a lot more mana to work with, but it did take a whole village to really get a kill into the Bristleback.
Yeah, the finest creation. This hero has been good for the last year or so. It's been pretty much in the first phase throughout the last year, and Kiyotaka's in again.
XM, he's gonna get caught, skewered to the side, and dead. Toronto, Tokyo getting that kill. The Pendulum on a Pelosi, and they are deep inside this area as the Echo Slam drops down, but they just don't have the damage.
It's level 1 Aftershock, so you don't have that extra bit of a damage that you would definitely like to get that kill. No Fissure has been used immediately after. I believe it was on cooldown, but yeah, look at how aggressive Aurora are playing. Behind enemy tier 2 tower, 15 minutes into the game.
Definitely showing some strength for XXS, but everybody else fell by the wayside, and Aurora, they look pretty good right now.
2 first global silences have been used. Like, this is super easy combo to execute. Storm Spirit zips in, you lock onto a target, you try to kill it with the follow-up of the global, but they don't have that second hero that can follow Storm Spirit. Not until Ursa gets a Blink Dagger, and he's getting relatively close. Needs another 800 gold, so once they have that, the next global silence should be able to get them the kill, and with Ursa as well, they should try to, you know, smoke up, global silence, blank kill a target, maybe a second one, and then try to take Roche.
Do you think Ame should have TP'd the tier 2 tower when they were diving?
Potentially, but this is also where you need to decide, because if you TP and you die there, this is how you ruin your own game. Kiyotaka, he's all over the place. Some really nice toss backs into 2-man Avalanche, toss damage as well, and this guy is obsessed with Boots of Travel.
Going for them and getting a lot of farm. He's pretty stacked up. XM in comparison down 2,200 net worth to the lane opponent of Kiyotaka. Looking for a Blink Dagger on the Earthshaker. He's quite a ways out from that. And they show that XXS can survive.
I think you buy Shard on Earthshaker. I don't think you have enough gold. Like, you need to be able to fight just now. So he is bringing that on the courier. There's that global silence.
But they got to get something with this, and they don't have anything just yet. But the Vortex, and now the Bristle is here. The Avalanche, as well as the toss. Eventually, Kiyotaka is going to die. Does take quite a bit, but it's a big kill to get.
This is one of those classic Kiyotaka moves. Completely isolated. He did grab one of the kills, pretty much a solo kill on Silencer in the previous one, but this time he does get punished. Oh, finds a really good neutral item. Searing Signet. That's also Searing Signet with the Unleashed, Quickened, extra mana, and extra movement speed. Exactly what Tiny needs.
Unleashed, Quickened, Searing Signet. It's a mouthful, but it does a lot.
Say it fast.
Unleashed, Quickened, Searing...
That's not fast. You're a play-by-play caster. Say it faster.
Unleashed, Quickened, Searing Signet. I don't think that was good, but...
It was fast, though.
It was fast. I got you next time. XM Vortex. Good fissure. Blocks him out from going back towards Panto, but the Avalanche now, he's going to be able to isolate the Bristle by tossing him over to the rest of his team. So now XXS under the tower. They've got the ult. XXS starting to get chipped down here. Terrorize lands onto two of these heroes. They can't help. Ame's here, but he's already popped that ult. The BKB came out from Nightfall. Yule's up from Kiyotaka on XM, but the fissure now down onto three of these heroes. They go to the song, and they can reset again. Sipping on that bottle, hoping that Avalanche is going to be available. It was on 5-second cooldown, but they've got the skewer. XM, the blink sticking with him. The toss.
He's coming.
From a distance, he hits the three. Bang! Hits it.
That was such a nice timing. First releasing the song mid-skewer, so he gets extra bit of a damage from that one, and then getting the toss as well, which did follow him into the death. They're in a lot of trouble. This Bristle that was supposed to be super tanky and unkillable, he's definitely not that. And I really like that both of them, like Magnus and Troll, are going to be using both ultis to try to deal with Bristleback.
And Bristle, once he got isolated with the toss from Kiyotaka over the fissure to the rest of his team, he was really in a bad spot. But it's also the Dark Willow that hits the Terrorize on, I believe, both XM and Ame, so they really can't even respond.
Yeah, some spell casting from Aurora have been amazing. The toss back into Avalanche combos on top of Terrorize, the skewer back into toss back plays. Everything has been looking pretty crisp, especially this play. Look at Toronto Tokyo. He's ready. Panto using the song first to try to reset the fight. Kiyotaka didn't have his Avalanche, didn't have his toss, so they needed to figure out how to play this one out. Catches him. It looked like he went through him, and then Kiyotaka. Such an amazing play.
Getting the toss from about half court. I mean, that was...
We said that this combo with Magnus and Tiny is going to be very good if you're defending, but they are playing aggressive. Ame's in. Yule Scepter.
He's really in. They're looking for the Terrorize, lands onto two. Global Silence just not in time, and Ame's going to lose that Aegis. Nightfall doesn't really... Oh, God.
Echo, he's coming in.
Fissure, Jesus. That hit all five, and now they've got the RP, but they've already lost Ame as well as XM. They're still going to look for the damage. That fissure...
That was a lot of damage from Earthshaker.
Made me at a loss for words as he hit everybody with that.
Does have Tectonic build-up, so level 10. I'm not sure he was level 10 immediately in that fight. 3,000 damage coming out from him, but Bristle is still the biggest damage dealer on their side. Ame and XM, they weren't able to do much, but Jinkyu needs to be careful.
Guys!
So does XXS. I don't think they can finish it. Nice try, nice try.
Yeah. You imagine Tormentor type that all chat and TNT. Anytime you try Tormentor, lose a hero and or don't finish it, Tormentor taunts. They really went for it though, without Ame or XM, because Ame can take it pretty easy, right?
Yeah, he can.
Just enrage and then kill this thing. He'll get a little heal from that. Shard for XM of all players.
Jinkyu did buy his shard, which means it was between him and Silencer. Yeah, that's why he was doing that good in the previous fight. Using that Fissure, getting the extra stun as well with Enchant Totem, and then getting close for Echo Slam. Can walk on the Fissure as well. And now does have a Blink Dagger ready. Level 1 ulti.
And he knows that this Ursa just
doesn't have Enrage,
so he doesn't have Enrage. But he blinks away and they can't catch him, so that Enrage is going to be off cooldown by the time they try to fight him again. Still pretty close in net worth. Troll's doing well, but the next three are all extreme. XM, despite his net worth, I feel like he's struggled this game to really find openings. It's only 3-4-2.
Yeah, not an easy game for him by any means. Playing into Troll, which does go through debuff immunity. And then you have RP as well. We've seen, like, once your BKB's down, Yule Scepter from Dark Willow into Bramble, into Terrorize is going to be controlling you. But this is the big item. Nightfall picking up Aghanim Scepter, something that we talked about during the draft that most likely going to be his itemization, is you're playing against Ursa. You remove Overpower. It's on relatively short cooldown, but if he uses it and then you dispel him straight away, Ursa can't deal damage.
Curse is going to have to be very careful. Global Silence stops the Avalanche as well as the toss, but he's got AVULUS. Now Kiyotaka going to go after him, but the RP, it's after the BKB used by XM. And with that time, he'll ball lightning away, but Kiyotaka, he's got blink in 2 seconds. Who's he going to go for? Answer? Nobody. We'll let them retreat, get back under the tower, and immediately TP towards top. Something that he's really able to accomplish thanks to the fact that he's got these boots of travel. Moving around the map really effectively, and he was moving around the map really well before these boots of travel as well. He had some really good movements towards top that helped slow down Xtreme's game a bit. Fissure and a Totem not doing too much.
Yeah, Nightfall will still need to be slightly more careful, even though he does have BKB, knowing that there is no global silence.
Ooh, good shockwave, good score. Avalanche, they'll have the Cursed Crown, but now XXS has to try and survive. He bought this Ghost Scepter. They're thinking about going to the Terrorize, but they toss him up into the air. They're kiting him well, but can XXS survive getting ripped apart? Fissure helps him for a moment, but they've got the Avalanche, and they'll have the tree toss to get this XXS Bristle back.
Ooh. It's not going to be the most effective item. Usually it is, but Troll doesn't need Nullifier, especially if he goes for Aghanim Scepter, so that's going to be removed. And looking at the levels,
yeah,
Nightfall is level 18, didn't die a single time. XM, no BKB ready for a second, and this is the combo that we also mentioned.
So good right now.
Absolutely. Setting things up with the Yule Scepter, they have so much control. One of the reasons why XM is not having that good of a game.
It's allowed Nightfall to get very ahead of Ame. Panto looking Greaves, looking Blink. Has the Greaves on auto buy, so just gonna finish those out before he goes for the Blink Dagger. Pulisic hasn't really had the impact that you want a Silencer to have.
Definitely not. Maybe they misplayed the lane a little bit, but they also brought in numbers relatively early to the bottom lane, which means that that lane was over relatively quickly. Him dying, then him dying again. Silencer is not a hero that can make a comeback. Also, first two globals were really not on point. I don't blame him. It's just the combination of the heroes that they do have. They were unable to get the kills during it.
Xtreme look like they're setting up. They've got global, they have everything. There was smoke ready on both Jinku as well as Pulisic. So they will smoke up, but who can they find? Not gonna be easy to get these heroes, but maybe they could get Kiyotaka here. Pops that BKB immediately, TP's out, and even though it's Kiyotaka, he pulls the Nightfall.
No abilities that go through debuff immunity. They can't TP out, Mira.
Just TP out.
Yeah. If there's one guy that can stop him from TPing out like that, that's Earthshaker. They don't have any other ways of interrupting the TP.
Willow. Not that high on the net worth, but a lot of important spell usage here with the Terrorize. Kiyotaka again. Doesn't have BKB this time. But the Arcane Curse misses. Olsen not landing that spell, and now an Ag's picked up for the Magnus. Got a lot going for the side of Aurora. Now they've got this Horn Toss opened up.
Extra bit of a control, much easier to skewer people back. Roshan may respawn in 35 seconds. First Roshan did belong to Xtreme Gaming. Aurora, this time around, they do not want to let go. They definitely want to get the hands on Aegis so they can siege the high ground with Troll.
Yeah, both these lineups take Roche really well.
They do.
But it's all about having that advantage or having that positioning to be able to go into Roche, because you do, both these teams take it quickly too. It's not just how, you know, how they have the heroes, but you give them 10 seconds, you get an Aegis.
Basically, one pick-off into Aegis is what both of these teams are looking for. But there is still... They still pretty much have all Tier 2 towers on Aurora. So they can buy back TP2 right now, looking for a pick-off.
Horn toss, skewer, that's going to be on XXS. Fissure lands in a decent spot. They'll look for the RP, but Toronto Tokyo is already dead. They got the global silence off. They're going to look over now at Nightfall, who pops that BKB. The chase is on for Pelosin. With the BKB still rolling for Nightfall, he's able to get a kill onto the silencer, who already used that global silence for good. Getting that kill onto Toronto Tokyo, though, is it enough to really discourage Aurora?
There is region bottom, so he's going to pick it up. I believe Toronto Tokyo got bashed when he blinked in. Ursa does have basher available. So they will take it slowly. 35 seconds until he respawns. That summary doesn't work.
I can see the clicking. Yeah, there's that bash immediately. Multiple bashes. A lot of damage being done by Ame. Relying on the good luck of a bash. But it does help him out, although despite the advantageous position from Xtreme there, taking out Toronto Tokyo, they didn't get much more, and they don't get Roche with that opportunity. So now it's Aurora who are thinking about going in. They've pinged the pit a couple of times. They've placed at least the illusion in there. But, you know, you don't get that Roche. It's not respawned yet. It's not an opportunity to be taken. But now, do you get another chance like that? Do you get another pick off?
They're probably going to go for the same play. Toronto Tokyo will try to fish for something. Roshan is respawning in 5 seconds.
There it is. It's back. So can Xtreme find themselves a repeat situation? They are smoked. They are looking for that opportunity. But Aurora have done a good job of positioning. Nightfall. Ooh, horn toss again. This is how it started last time. Them trying to go for XXS. They will have the Curse Crown. They'll go in. The Echo Slam lands on 3 with the Fissure. Mira's dead. Immediate buyback. They'll look for Toronto Tokyo. But there's the RP. It's expended early. They go to the ult from Nightfall. They've got the root and the kill on XM. Avalanche onto 2, they'll toss up Jinkyu, throw him onto Pelosi. The Fissure lands onto 2 once more. But XM, he's going to commit that buyback. Ame going forward, looking over at Nightfall. They'll use that song. It's going to lock down XM, who just bought back.
He's inside the bramble.
The right clicks coming in from Nightfall onto Ame. They'll get the kill. They'll take out the Ursa. He's going to buy back. Pelosi in trouble. He falls too. But they have found themselves XM, who already bought back in the fight. He's going to be dead for 80 seconds. And XXS, through all this, is surviving, but he's just not outputting the damage. They've got him surrounded. The Fissure lands once again. They've got the control. Toronto Tokyo will land that skewer. Panto gets the kill, and it's falling apart for Xtreme Gaming because this is extreme losses at the hands of Aurora.
Oh man, this just might be it. If they lose another fight, they're not going to be having buybacks on Ursa. Storm just bought back, died again. I really like how patient Nightfall is, knowing that if he doesn't get jumped by Earthshaker, Silencer combo, probably all 3 cores plus the global silence, he's not gonna die. But there's also Naga Siren behind him with the Glimmer Cape, with the Guardian Greaves, and Song of the Siren. So if they want to kill him, they need to commit pretty heavily. And also this Aghanim Scepter, it's been such a valuable pickup, allowing him to dispel himself, dispel Haven's Halberd. Because before, Haven's Halberd was a really great item, because you couldn't really dispel it, even if you like use the BKB. But now you can soft dispel it. You can use Whirling Axes, which are on 4-second cooldown, plus this Ghost Scepter also doesn't work on Bristleback, and they're trying to turn him around every single fight. You could see the way Nightfall was moving, like in the little circles, to always try to hit him from the front.
Trying to make sure that they kill XXS, and they have... I mean, he didn't die so quickly in that last fight, but he's not really doing anything other than surviving. He's soaking up a lot of damage, but the rest of the team needs to find opportunity. They're in on Roche. You can see Nightfall, at least while they were taking Roche, was very animated and talking quite a bit. Probably game planning what they're going to do with this Aegis.
This guy always talks. Like, I love to do interviews with him as well, because you ask a question, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. He's going to keep talking. This guy just loves Dota. That's how he is in the game as well. He is the leading voice, pretty much, of every single team that he is in.
And you don't need the follow-up.
Exactly. He will give you everything. And also, he's super tanky. Abyssal Blade is now made from Sange, and he also does have S and Y on top of that. So double Sange, not really getting the value out of it, but it does make you super tanky. And now he's ready to go. Troll, banner has been planted. Once he starts munching on those buildings, it gets pretty difficult. Like, tower immediately gone.
Gotta find the right jump. Down 15,000 net worth, but Kiyotaka goes in. Blink, toss with the Avalanche. They've got the horn toss. There's another big echo, but it's just not enough. They fall short again. Global silence, but the song is used.
Fast
It locks
rooted.
up XM and XXS, and they will all drop.
Yeah, that just might be
no
it.
way for XXS
no
to get out of
damage.
this.
They're going for the throne.
Yeah, they want more. They want Ame. They'll already call GG. Aurora, they're going to secure game number 1 in this BO3 against Xtreme.
What a beautiful spell casting from Aurora throughout the whole game. These avalanche tosses, terrorizes. Also, in the previous fight when Storm Spirit bought back, they were ready. Bramble Maze.
Thank you so much, Tsunami. As we come into game number 2, Xtreme trying to bring this to 3 games. Hoping maybe to see a couple more heroes in the next draft if they can make it to a 3rd game. But for right now, they're dealing with what's in front of them, and it's 5 melee heroes from Aurora. And 5 hard hitters, that's for sure, especially early on. It is no joke from them. Even before the 6, I feel of Sven, if you've got that tag team, you've got the damage.
You definitely do have the damage when you bring in the numbers, but also it is a good Terrorblade game. Other than Sven, their damage is over time. We're talking about like Nagasar is not going to be dealing any damage whatsoever. Tusk with the tag team, it's all physical, so is Bristleback. Sure, you're going to be lowering some armor. This time around, Toronto Tokyo is going to be playing the Snot Rocket facet. Ember Spirit, he's also damaged over time. He's not explosive damage, so if he's not getting attacked by Sven and the rest of the team, it looks on paper like a really good Terrorblade game. Ame running it down the river.
Running it down the river, definitely better than running it down mid. That's for sure.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one in quite some time. It's not happening as much as it did before, right?
Running it down mid?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Not as much. Mira and Panto, they are going to spot...
Yeah, because you stopped doing it.
Okay. Yeah. I go to my lane like a good support. Never tilting. I got this Grimstroke in the game. Lacoste, I got to ask you, what's better, Grimstroke or Rubik?
Grimstroke, 100%. Even though Grimstroke is not the strongest hero at the moment, I don't think he ever was the strongest hero. He has a couple of issues. All of his spells feel good to have. And a lot of the times you're not getting enough levels. You're like, well, yeah, this... I'm just wondering why Phantom's Embrace is 2 kills, 2 attacks to kill at level 2, at level 1. So you need level 3. I think we also might need to change this, something similar that we did with Weaver, how it works with the bugs. Could be a very nice buff to the Grimstroke. We'll definitely see much more play.
See how the Grimstroke does in a lane like this. How the lanes actually go in general, considering it is 5 melee heroes here for Aurora. Mid should be pretty even. We've seen it a bunch of times. The Storm against the Ember seems to be one of those lanes where Spirit v Spirit seems usually pretty even.
It does seem pretty even. It's Ember Spirit might have slightly less CS, but he's good for the game. Having something on low cooldown that can deal with Storm Spirit, forcing him to get a relatively early BKB as well so he can get out of it. They do have a big combo on Xtreme Gaming. Fatal Bonds with Grimstroke, potentially double Fatal Bonds. Other than that, they don't have many spells they can throw inside of Soulbind. Nightfall, getting harassed quite a lot by Grimstroke. This facet Fine Art, have been buffed.
I mean, getting first blood, definitely a bit of a change of fate for Xtreme early on. Quicker first blood this time around as well, considering the last game it took about 5-6 minutes to get that first blood. But for Xtreme, I expect all 3 lanes to do pretty well. There is some potential up in this top lane for Mira and Toronto Tokyo to get a kill if the shards are right.
Yes, if they block off Polison in this lane, he can definitely die, especially at level 3. Right now, Mira is saving a point, does have tag team available, but with 2 heroes, that extra physical damage, extra minus armor coming out from Bristle should definitely be enough. XXS about to crack level 3, but doesn't have much mana to work with in the bottom lane.
As long as you can stay aggressive while Metamorphosis is on cooldown, you're in a decent spot. And they're going to try and do that with Ame, who will pop that wand, has that Shadow Word, tries to throw some shots here over on a Toronto Tokyo, who will just survive. But Ame survives the aggression coming in from Aurora.
Polison also doesn't have much mana, but will have enough to use Shadow Word, which is going to bring Ame back to full HP. Extra bit of protection from the tower as well, and also the item that he did bring, Band of Elvenskin, giving him extra agility, extra armor as well. Did make a difference in that one.
XM 23-3 to start this one off. Top of the CS chart as every lane working out so far for Xtreme. XXS even thinking about just kind of maybe playing a bit more forward. He is so far. He did pull the creep wave. He's got Jinku here as this Grimstroke, and they jump on Panto. An immediate reaction of a Stormhammer forced out, so XXS can't continue on to the Naga Siren to get another kill for the side of Xtreme.
XM is forced to leave the lane in the mid lane. Doesn't have much mana, which is going to give Kiyotaka some extra levels in the mid lane. He wasn't doing too hot in the CS department. As we said, I mean, this is the matchup, but yeah, things are going well for Xtreme Gaming. He can TP back to the mid lane, not lose too much on the XP. Nightfall and Panto are relatively low. With the next Celestial Hammer, they could maybe grab a kill in this lane.
Yeah, it all depends on where the Stormhammer goes, right? If they can get a Stormhammer out, Nightfall's actually very far away. Wasn't able to get a stun out there, and that left Panto very vulnerable. He was on the opposite side of where he needed to be, and that ends up being a very good kill here for the side of Xtreme.
This lane is not gonna end well for Aurora. Sven, it's all about him surviving. He is buying a healing salve, so that's gonna be extra regeneration for him. Will probably be like level 5, level 5.5 ideal in a losing lane, and then you can try to go to the jungle and try to catch up. Fortunately for him, Sven is the guy that
Fatal Bonds
can easily recover, but there's the Fatal Bonds, there's the Shadow Word and Blood Grenade.
Trying for the Starbreaker, but doesn't get a chance to go off with the Stormhammer stopping it. Mira's in and has shards, but they're off the mark. Ends up meaning that XXS thinks about turning around. He's got the Shadow Word, so he'll have some heal here, but there's the Snowball going on to XXS, and he's still alive. They have Ink Swell, and now they might be able to turn this on to Panto. They didn't get this Sven, but they are going to look for Panto now, slowed up thanks to the upheaval, and this will be another kill for the side of Xtreme, making it 4-0 just 6 minutes into the game.
Using this opportunity where Sven was relatively low, he did bring Healing Salve, but it was not enough, and then bringing Warlock, who wants to be active. Polison already 4 charges on Black Grimoire. Things are not looking good for Aurora. This type of a lineup, Bristle, he needs some time. This is not an active hero by any means. Sven definitely needs to recover. Right now, he's still staying in the bottom lane, only level 4. Would definitely love to get that extra level to have another point in cleave. So it needs to be Everspirit. Kiyotaka, again, it needs to be him making all the right moves, because rest of the team, they're getting ran at pretty heavily. And Warlock is about to be level 6. When he uses Black Grimoire, he has 4 charges, so that's 200 experience, 800. Not enough to bring him immediately to level 6.
It's one of those questions, right? Do you pop it immediately? If you find another good fight, you might be close enough to 6 where you want to hold it, but there may be a fight that drags you in a position where you want to just have 6.
He now has enough. He now has enough to be able to get level 6, so could see the opportunity, find the opportunity somewhere on the map, and then drop it.
Definitely gives the availability, though. So now you've got to kind of treat Warlock as if he's got Chaotic Offering. Doesn't have the mana really to sustain it. But at least currently, he is looking to get himself a clarity and start juicing up that mana so maybe they can go for a fight. That could be a way to go with the smokes. And this is something that we saw in the previous game. One of the best stacking heroes in the game is that Naga Siren that just had huge numbers in the last one. What was it, like 20 stacks alone? Something crazy for
It was like
Naga
15
Siren.
stacks. 12 minutes into the game, Kiyotaka with that amplified damage, this is exactly what they need.
Easy
Gotta
double
go
kill.
for these moves. And this is a bit of a newer build. I mean, people did it before, but it wasn't as popular because Mage Slayer was that good of an item. In this game, there is good amount of magic damage. XXS thinking about maybe going in, but yeah, Blade Mail. This is a bit of a new trend on Ember Spirit. He's not done.
Another kill? XM, he's dead too. Kiyotaka
XM
just gets 3 kills all of a sudden and he's popping off.
XM just zipped in a place.
Yeah, that was...
He didn't have much mana to work with. I believe Kiyotaka would still be able to run him down, but yeah, these 3 kills that he just got level 9, almost level 10, 9 minutes into the game, and even more stacks. They have very good heroes to clear the stacks with. They have Sven, they have Bristle, and they also have Ember Spirit, who does have Chipped West and is about to finish off his Blade Mail. This is going to be some insane timing.
If they could steal those stacks, that would be good. Pelosin committing that Chaotic Offering, but they need to stick on Nightfall. There's that Stormhammer, and now XXS, well, he doesn't have anything more, so you had the benefit of this Chaotic Offering, and the fact that you have it so early on into the game thanks to the Black Grimoire, but now...
You got to get the bad ones out of the system
I guess, yeah, but this early one could have been a big game changer.
Maybe if they can steal some of the stacks. Polosun is cutting it out, but look at Kiyotaka again.
Solar Guardian. Kiyotaka pulled into the snowball, and they're going to go into Pelosin, try to get the kill to the Warlock. They've got the shards around him. They get the kill to Mira, though. Pelosin survives. Now they look over for Nightfall, but there's the net. The Stormhammer, ooh, a little bit
Boglet.
of a Boglet body block. By body block, I mean he just tendrilled them.
They have a good amount of sustain on Xtreme Gaming. Solar Guardian, Shadow Word. Rimstroke is there to help you out with some extra movement speed. Inkswell, a lot of value against 5 melee heroes.
They should be able to get this tier 1 tower. But Mira is going to show up. While that fight was going on, Sven just farmed the Boglets. Kiyotaka's in again. He feels really strong. Good avoidance of the Starbreaker. Soulbind comes in, though. XXS still dead. Panto's here, and they're going to run. They are going to chase Pelosin, and that will be a +1. That will go the way of Kiyotaka now on a mega kill streak. Nightfall
They're not
here.
done.
Stormhammer remnant forward, and they are not stopping. Kiyotaka wants another kill, but GQ survives for a second longer. Kiyotaka slowed up, and now this Grimstroke's still alive. Inkswell looking for it, jumps back, but they can't get the lockdown to get the kill here onto this Ember.
Their spell usage has been really good so far on Aurora. Game number 1, game number 2, Snowball, using it immediately. Great against dodging the Solar Guardian damage and the stun. Kiyotaka, again, pushing the limits. This is how he plays. I want to see what the next item's going to be. Whether he wants to build into some like bigger item, maybe go for more damage-oriented build. It could also be relatively good Radiance game or a Maelstrom game if he decides to go for it. But again, the key for them is to stack as much as possible. We haven't seen much from Toronto Tokyo. He's on the other side of the map, continues to farm up. Heaven's Halberd is done. And now going into Pipe. This is something that I did mention in game number 1, where he is the guy that understands itemization really well. What team needs from him, he's going to build into it. So now you have a bit of a disarm, you have a block damage, plus you're also going to be building into Pipe, trying to tank up as much as possible.
Ame, all this time has been quiet. Going into the Manta style, he'll twin gate, back towards top. But there are a couple heroes here. He might end up getting caught if he is not too careful. Kiyotaka's here. Sleight of fist, Mira shards off the mark. He is going to back up into the jungle and be fine. This is a good start for Aurora, despite the fact they're down 2,000 net worth. And Kiyotaka is really keeping
that
them
triple
close.
kill. This game could have been pretty much a disastrous one. You have heroes to play with. Storm Spirit zipping in with the Grimstroke, then to follow it up with the Solar Guardian Kiyotaka. I'm not sure if he saw some of the damage on XXS with the Flame Guard, because it still deals damage even if you don't have it activated. And now onto the support immediately, Shin Q.
Going.
Kiyotaka. Ooh, that was close.
Shadow Word keeping him alive.
Also, these small items that he's buying. Fluffy Hat, Ring of Protection, keeping him alive. I saw Kiyotaka had BKB in his quick buy. I'm like, I'm a little bit disappointed. This is not a Kiyotaka item, so he's going to switch it up. I see Yule Scepter, which is good against the... removing some of the annoying stuff as well, but also gives him mana. He was having some of the mana issues in the previous 2 fights.
BKB that early is not a EE
No,
kind of
definitely
move.
not.
Take some damage, but not much doing. At least not yet. Ooh. They hear the drum beat,
And the
but
regen.
they do not throw the Chaotic Offering in a very well-timed regen rune for Kiyotaka. It's a bit unfortunate, but Ame now going to step up on this tower. Searing Chains on Ame for a second, but he's got the Shadow Word. Should be able to sustain while all this is going on.
A bit limited on damage on Aurora, at least for now. Nightfall, not ready to take the fight. He is in the triangle. Gotta be careful about the Rock and Sunder. Trying to buy as much time as they can without losing too much.
Mira's going to be in, but Mira's going to die on this. Snowballing for some time. Searing Chains locked down Xtreme for a moment. They're still going to get this tower. While this is going on, XXS is top farming, but so is Toronto Tokyo, who hasn't really left top. Has been up there really the entire time. XXS going for the Zags, has that early Blade Mail.
I think in this game, Ags is really good. It's not as good as it was before, that Aghanim Scepter with 60% miss chance. But this time around, you are landing almost immediately, which is good against, because it's a BKB piercing ability. Great against Sven when they initiate. Again, you're playing against 5 melee heroes, so this spell eventually is going to land.
It'll hit everybody.
And it's all about them counter-initiating. Now you have, like, you're shutting down the play that Aurora is going to try to make, but once Sven gets online, that explosive damage, it might not matter.
Set of Fist Searing Chains on a 2 Shadow Word. Solar Guardian. Sin dropping the Chaotic Offering. But again, another Golem.
Oh, Kiyotaka.
And just no effectiveness.
Doing so much. Prepare for a lesson. For a good reason. There was Orchid on Storm Spirit, but this Yule Scepter.
This could be
Let's see
good.
what they could get from this one. Nice song from Penta. Resetting it immediately, killing both of them.
Soulbind will run out. Phantom's Embrace as well. And now you've got the God Strength Nightfall thinking about coming in. They've got the upheaval, but they've got the lockdown onto XM. They'll get that kill and look for XXS, who pops the Blade Mail, but he's stuck between him and the shards and the side of Aurora. Nightfall getting that one. Toronto Tokyo takes out Polosin, and now they'll look for anything more that they can get. Grimstroke potentially an objective here that they can dive the tower for.
He
and
has
they
no
will.
mana.
The Stormhammer comes through. Nightfall still has this God Strength. The shards are on point, and they've got themselves 4 kills here, as it's now 9-7 in favor of Aurora.
What a beautifully executed fight. This is also Power of Naga Siren. What a beautifully timed song. They managed to reset. Grimstroke ulti expires. They kill the Phantom. This hero doesn't have much to offer after that one. And again, them getting into the backlines. Kiyotaka having a perfect game. 6-3-0. 6-0-3. Sorry.
Involved in 100% of the kills. Good song. This is after the Chaotic Offering was used as well.
Have in mind,
really didn't do much.
This is also with the Shield Rune on Storm Spirit. It does get the spell. Kiyotaka again coming in clutch with his itemization. That Yule Scepter dispelled Orchid in the previous fight, which did allow this fight to happen, saving him from the trouble and also allowing him to set things up on a Storm Spirit. And now you have this insane damage, a lot of physical damage from from Sven. Ember Spirit, he has Orb of Blight and also Green Bristleback.
Get that kill here with the Stormhammer.
Basically dying in 2 hits.
Good shards by Mira. On point with this Tusk for the most part. He's on fire with those shards and with that hero.
Panto's on fire, even though he's not a liar. Like, this guy is playing some amazing Dota.
How many stacks does he have up to this point? Is he stacking anymore still?
He probably is.
So, right?
Like, right now, maybe not as much, because you want to be pushing out the waves as well, scouting things out if they're making the moves to get the information on the map. But 12 camps, 18 minutes in.
Not bad. Walrus Punch into a Stormhammer. Chaotic Offering a little bit too late, so this will probably turn into a second. They don't have shards, but they can find him. Ooh. They might have had... they didn't really have much in terms of lockdown afterwards. But again, another knockout and another golem wasted. That is 0 for 3, I would say, in terms of chaotic offerings that have led to anything. And then Pelosin, they didn't get him a second ago, but Kiyotaka's here and ready to try and get this kill on a Pelosin, and will.
He's just schooling them at this point. Has everything ready. Yule Scepter this time, using it aggressively, seeing that Storm is dead, so doesn't have to save it to remove the Orchid. Then uses Illusion Rune, gets out of the trouble, gets the kill. Look how aggressive he's playing. Behind enemy tier 2 tower and dealing 19,000 damage in 19 minutes. Whew. Okay, these are some really impressive numbers from Kiyotaka.
That's a lot of damage. And he's still, well, he's not sitting there 100% anymore, but now he's going to want more. Searing Chains onto XM. Not making the move with Mira not committing to this one, but Mira now has a Blink Dagger, and that's one of the ways that you can initiate quite well. And we talked about in game number 1 how the spell casting was really good from the side of Aurora, and when you've got this Blink Dagger, it really allows you to blink, Walrus Punch, Snowball, and then set up with the Stormhammer where you have this layered lockdown to kill off a hero.
Yeah, he doesn't necessarily need to blink in. Like, he's going to be saving that blink to save people for the Snowball, because if he's in immediately and somebody has Grim ulti, it might connect onto him, so he just might wait it out. And something that Panto's doing really well is blocking the camps as well with his Nagasaran Illusions in the triangle, removing the farm. So for now, he's not stacking, but instead he is removing the farm from the enemy team, which at this point of the game might have even be better.
7,000 net worth lead. Mira, definitely a big part of making that happen, but of course we talked Panto in the stacks. Sounds like a pretty good band, honestly. Panto in the stacks.
I'd buy an album.
Their hit song, Show Me the Money. Sven is taking advantage of that.
Block and roll. That's
Sven is taking advantage of that, has gotten a lot of farm. And finally we get this Ags for XXS, but you know, he had a much better game on that Bristle to start in game number 1. He's been kind of slow off the starting line here with XM in game number 2. They'll push this tower. Try to get a tier 2. Try to get anything. Can they pull their way back into the game? And it does end up falling on the back of Ame that really needs to get it done. But while they give up that tower, they go and get themselves an Aegis for Kiyotaka, who truthfully doesn't feel like he's dying anytime soon.
Ame gets involved. They definitely need to move with him. Seeing that there is no meta available, they might try to take the fight. It is still up and running, but when he TPs to a fight, it's going to expire. So let's see if Aurora finds an opportunity to make fight happen.
Came back after this Obs got dewarded.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They're not going to find the real Naga. That's over mid. The rest of the team is actually pushing pretty far forward. Aurora in a very good position on the map, away from this Xtreme Gaming side. They've tried to play aggressive. They've tried to play across the river, but it hasn't benefited them at all. Just not finding any openings. They'll continue to push. They'll continue to just bolster this net worth lead. 9,000 ahead. Still 3.5 minutes left on this Aegis.
It does feel like they can take the fight. Kiyotaka and Sven are going to be jumping into backlines, killing off these two supports immediately. You also have Bristleback, who's relatively speedy as a hero, and he's super tanky. Doesn't need to be cared about the magic damage at this point of the game. Does have Poor Man's Shield, has Heaven's Halberd, has Pipe. A lot of damage block, a lot of physical reduction as well. With that disarm on TB, could come in very handy.
Had Bristle just pushing. He's only 1-0-2. Walrus Punch, Snowball, then the Storm Hammer. This is what we talked about. XM just dispatched in seconds.
Yeah, he gave Storm that hammer, got him stunned. If you have any stuns with Sven, his Vanquisher deals insane amount of damage. It is 20%, but it also goes up to 30% with level 10 talent.
Oh, gosh.
And I like what he's building. He's going for Revenant's Brooch, not the item that you see every day, because you want to have that raw damage, raw physical damage on Sven. But carry-to-carry matchup against TB, you want to be critting for some of the magical. So that's going to be an item to increase his chances of dealing with TB as well, because most of the damage that they do have is physical on their side.
Sven non-stop. Ame not really involved. 1-0-1. Ooh. Kind of expected more from him this game, but he did try to get involved a little bit early on the Ursa. Maybe feeling a bit gun-shy after that first game.
Potentially. Things didn't go too well. This game, they got shut down. That triple kill that Kiyotaka got, solo kill on Storm Spirit, and again, look where he is, holding the Aegis, and this will allow him this
with
dispel
a regen rune
from Yule Scepter. Regen rune again. They've been controlling, like, this is something that Storm Spirit wants to do. Like, he doesn't want to get his rune stolen. Toronto Tokyo's like, yo guys, what up?
I've had all this time to farm. Can you guys even kill me? Soul Mind, but it doesn't attach onto anybody. It's not going to matter. This song's a little bit late. Panto, Song on Ame, on the XM, on the Jingqiu. Double shot, killing off Pelosin. Could change his name to Nail because he got Storm Hammered all the way into the ground. They'll look for Mira. They should be able to get this one, and they've got 3 kills on Xtreme, so they show some life.
I thought Bristol's gonna be fine there with the song, but it did come in slightly too late. Kiyotaka still thinking about going in.
Oh, jeez!
Those crits.
Nightfall! Absolute man. I mean, this would even just be the Aegis if they get this. Nightfall still was doing damage. No God Strength anymore. Ame with the Sunder. Can he get Nightfall? Kiyotaka's right behind him, but the blink away. Ame never had a shot.
He did indeed go for the raw physical damage. Did get that Daedalus. How much damage was that coming up? Kiyotaka actually dealing more damage than Sven in that fight. But finally, you see the power of Terrorblade. We did talk about that this is a good overall Terrorblade game. It's just that the other 2 cores are not really doing much. Panto, reeling him in.
Look at these shards. Where do you go? You're locked into this little peninsula.
Yeah, Beakup just gave me a look because he loves to
use the word peninsula wrong.
Yeah. What is the definition of peninsula?
I forgot. We went over this, and
we might see the replay of peninsula here. No, it was the initiation on Toronto Tokyo, who gets Heaven's Halberd immediately, has Poor Man's Shield, has Pipe ready. Panto did go back for a moment, thinking that he also couldn't die, and look at what Nightfall's doing. He's cutting into back lines. He's gonna immediately delete Poloson. 2 hits, 1000 crit, and again, Yule Scepter on Kiyotaka. Such a valuable item that did allow him to push the limits of the hero. He didn't die a single time in this game. 8-0 and 8, and then Nightfall, he's gonna be the one. It's QV4 pretty much, and then he's gonna be jumping in. Kiyotaka again, trying to find something in the back lines. And this is the big one. 1-2, immediately gone.
That second hit for 1500 on the Storm.
And they decided to go in one more time, because not sure who was calling this shot. And speaking of calling the shot, they are calling the shots that may potentially go in. Nightfall, uh-oh.
Nightfall! Oh, they might get him this time. They will. Oh, so much gold. He was worth 2,000. And now they've got the silence on a Kiyotaka. He doesn't have an Aegis this time, and he doesn't have a Sven to continue to throw these Storm Hammers out. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. A Celestial Hammer thrown their way. Ame almost feeling like he's baiting them in a little bit.
Ame has 100 move speed, has Sunder ready. They need to fight around Ame. He needs to be the turret. He needs to be the one dealing the damage. Oh, that was a nice play. Nice try.
Tries to get the Sunder, but now the Walrus Punch into the Snowball. Ame, you don't have Sunder anymore, but you do have the damage. The song, though. What can they line this up with? Kiyotaka ready.
Searing Chains. Could be on to 4 of them.
Yeah, it is. It's on to everybody. Look at XM, Ame, XXS, Kiyotaka tipped by Nightfall. He's spectating this fight, but he is enjoying it as well, as he just sees his Ember Spirit ripping through the side of Xtreme Gaming. This is going to be a full team wipe and a triple kill for Kiyotaka.
What I love about Kiyotaka is if you are watching him on camera, he has 0 emotions. Nothing. He's like, yeah, it's just another day in the office.
That's what we've been in the entire time.
Yeah, that's just how he looks 100% of the time, 24/7. Looks a little bit grumpy considering how well he's playing.
Considering he's 11-0 and 10.
Nightfall, he doesn't have anything to do, so he's tipping his teammates. As you said, he was tipping Kiyotaka, just watching what's happening. Now he's, okay, I'm gonna tip my Naga Siren, who is dragging the creep waves, and they're ready to close it out. No mana for another 15 seconds, and you do have this overwhelming damage from Sven.
Nightfall's got the emotions for everybody. He's smiling ear to ear. And we take another look at Kiyotaka, and it's just that he has not changed the entire time. But you know what has changed? XM's life. 2-shot again. Nightfall, God Strength, just ripping through these heroes. I mean, man, this non-stop. The damage is so overwhelming. Xtreme, I mean, they show that they have the ability if they can get these heroes isolated. But when it's a 5-on-5, melee or not, they just don't have what it takes to survive.
And it's he knew, like, Nightfall immediately knew that with this song setup, I mean, we gotta give credit to Panto as well, getting the song in relatively tight space, but also managing to reset, managing to save Mira there, and setting things up for 3-man Searing Chains. It's also a lot of damage coming out from Searing Chains. He does have Chain Gank, he does have Searing Chains Duration on level 15, plus now also on level 20. Extra bit of a damage coming out from that. Plus the Shiva's Guard, increasing that damage. So going more for more of a mixed build with a little bit of physical, a little bit of magical as well, but knowing that he needs to slow them down, he's just going to be annoying in the front line, allowing Sven to have a pretty free reign. And this was the only death of Nightfall in that previous fight, which was worth 2,000 gold, but definitely great game from him. Didn't die a single time in game number 1.
Gets that shard for Sven with that Tormentor kill.
That's a big one. Undispellable and also providing passive armor against TB, so the team is not going to be dying as quickly.
Who can they get? Who can they find? I mean, even if they find Kiyotaka, do they really even kill him?
He is very tanky. If he pops Arcane, Yule Scepter, has Gale Guard, he's going to be very, very difficult to kill.
XXS down here bottom. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains though from Kiyotaka. Maybe they're just waiting to position themselves for Roche, but the smoke from Aurora, they kind of know Toronto Tokyo is going to move forward. Ball Lightning looking in the back lines, trying to go with the BKB and get this kill on Amira, but now they'll look over at Toronto Tokyo. The song is in. The lockdown is there, and Kiyotaka and Nightfall are setting up. Soul Mine comes through, but are they going to have enough? They go to the Chaotic Offering. They've got the Fatal Bonds, but do they have the damage?
Nightfall's dying.
Looking over at Nightfall, they've got themselves the Solar Guardian. Down goes Nightfall. No more Sven, but the big bad boss on the side of Aurora is Kiyotaka. They do not have buyback on Sven, but XM looking for the Ball Lightning, looking for a Vortex to hold in Kiyotaka. Down goes Panto, but the damage is too much. XM's dead. Walrus Punch is there, and now Ame with the Sunder. Kiyotaka getting low again.
He
They're
doesn't
gonna go to
care.
XS, but he is going through everybody. You cannot stop this man. They will clean up once more. Xtreme Gaming wiped for the second time in a row.
GG.
They called GG. Aurora secure the 2-0 over
man.
Xtreme Gaming.
Yaki, he is way too strong. Like, having the Flame Guard, having Blade Mail, having all of these things on top of him, Gale Guard.